Welcome to the Sailor Noob podcast, where a superfan and a noob talk about the original Sailor Moon episode by episode. I'm your host, Mikan Hana, joined by my co-host.
I'm the co-host and the noob, Caliban. And what do you mean they canceled Blue Bloods?
Are you serious?
No.
I see. You're being an old person. I get it.
Thanks for translating.
You're welcome. We're a couple of magical people ready to moon prism power make up this episode. Sailor Noob is a part of the Just Enough Trope Network. Today we are talking about episode number 30, Oji-chan Ranshin, Rei-chan no Kiki in Japanese. Grandpa loses control, Rei in danger, the English translation, and the English title, Grandpa's Follies.
It just, Follies is the new blues.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is the first time I think they've used it, but we can see. We should keep a tally.
Molly's Folly.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. The tally's up here.
Okay.
I'm pointing to my head.
All right. No, I think you're right. It is a little bit
Ray's
redundant.
Folly. Yeah, I don't know. What do you even do? I mean, we're going to get into it.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
We got our work
episode.
cut out for us for our titles at the end, but
we do. Do you want to give a brief synopsis of this jam-packed episode?
Yeah, well, for an episode that follows an episode where maybe the point of attack was very late, this episode, almost making up for that, maybe with that in mind, attacks immediately.
Yes.
But first, we open on a guy sleeping on some stairs. Moving on, we see Grandpa sitting on the roof of the temple, admiring the moon and craving some tsukimi dumplings, which I'm hoping you'll fill us in on later.
I will.
And a glass of sake, which I have a question that might be for later too. Must Shinto monks be abstemious?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Where do I sign up? Immediately, Zoisite appears and zois him.
Yes. Withdrawing
the purple crystal from him, and Grandpa begins to transform into a Yoma. But wait! He's able to stop the change from happening. Mm-hmm. And Zoisite is like, you're pretty good. You made me use 1% of my Zoi. Take this, Zoe! And Grandpa is blown off the roof. The temple ravens immediately attack Zoisite. Phobos and Deimos are back.
Yes.
And he disappears, because who wants to get attacked by ravens? And when he comes back, they'll remember his face. They can do that.
Right.
Rei runs to her grandpa's aid, who is still struggling. And right then, the guy who was sleeping on the steps of the temple wakes up. He sees Rei, and he's like, old man having a heart attack, birds attacking a flying dandy, cute girl, time to make my move. He runs up, he says his name is Yuichiro Kumada, and he begs to be an apprentice of the temple, I'm guessing, of Grandpa.
Yes.
In the Dark Kingdom. We cut away from that, because nothing going on there. In the Dark Kingdom, Zoisite is looking at a vision of Grandpa, and he says, the monster is awakening. I'll have your crystal soon, old man. Mm-hmm. The next day at Juban Jr., Rei is filling the girls in. Her grandpa is acting weird. Well, weirder. And he is wearing a cape, and he's flipping around, and he's swinging from vines in an apparent attempt to train Yuichiro, his new apprentice.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem all that weird. Have you watched the show?
I know.
The girls arrive at Hikara Shrine, and they see Grandpa working Yuichiro over, but he's just happy to see Rei. And Grandpa says, training takes guts. You can't be soft. And what are we going to do? It's a little like mood swingy.
Yes.
I've only got you to take over the shrine, meaning Rei, I guess. So Grandpa's, he's kind of up and down. But Yuichiro is ready for anything. He's going to lick this training. And he runs over to the altar to pray for strength. And he tugs on the rope, the prayer rope or something like that. And a bucket of water falls on his head. So another point for Grandpa.
Yeah, there's a bell attached to it normally,
Right.
and so he somehow opened up the bell and put water in it and rigged it so that the bell would open. And,
Yes.
Or he just put something up that looked like the bell and rigged it to pour water on him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways. Luckily, it was Yuichiro that pulled the rope and not a worshiper. So.
Right.
Everybody is worried, but Usagi's loving it. Like, she thinks it's great.
Yeah.
And Grandpa's like, yeah, this one gets it. But Ray's not having it, and Usagi says, just chill out. And Ray's like, hey, it's our shrine, butt out. And she shoves Usagi, and the other girl's like, whoa, uncalled for.
Yeah.
And Ami's like, well, whatever, I got cram school. And Mako's like, off to karate practice or whatever.
I know.
And thanks for your support in this tough time, girls. Yuichiro pulls Ray aside and says, look, things come and they go. The sun rises, it sets. There's a rhythm to nature. It's fall now. Maybe he'll be okay by spring.
Mm-hmm.
Ray, amazingly, does not incinerate him on the spot, but is like, yeah, wow, things are weird. You know what's weird? Girls. We have all this passion, but when problems arise, we fall apart. And Ray's, she's kind of letting her soul out. She's just kind of, just getting things out a little bit.
Yeah.
And Ray's actual friend, Usagi, is watching all this from behind a tree. She's got no cram school.
She does.
Got no karate.
Yeah.
She's still here.
Yeah.
So she sees that there's something, I guess, between Ray and Yuichiro. So she's going to Cupid them.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing a lot of Cupid Usagi recently.
Yes, we have.
When is Usagi Hood coming back?
I don't know. I really want to know.
And we'll just get out of the way because there's going to be a lot of hijinks. This is a Dumb Bunny 7. We are high up on the scale for this one, and you'll see why. Luna says to Usagi, why are you even getting involved? What's the point? She was shoving you before. And Usagi says, well, this could patch things up between us. If I get them together, she's going to like me again. So, transformation pin.
I know.
And Luna's like, no. And Usagi, this is where the transformation pen jumps the shark. Usagi
I think maybe
transforms
you're right.
into a fortune teller of love, which you're going to have to explain this one to me. We've seen a fortune teller on the show before in the second episode, I believe.
Yes,
and
you're correct.
Usagi is this like a ancestral costume or something? Is this like she's in she's got the round hat.
Yep.
It's like a wise man costume.
Yep.
And she's got the cigarettes, candy, she's got the thing with the sticks and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a mustache, but she's not a man.
Right.
And this is a question I had about the transformation pen. Like it's just a dress up thing, right? Like if
as
she's
far
like,
as I can tell,
she can't go like, make me a dragon, and she turns into a dragon. Like she's still Usagi, but she has the costume of a fortune teller, complete with like fake mustache and beard, the little curly mustache, which is just like,
it was like that. Right. Honestly, was like the cherry on top, or just like the shark jumping over.
Yeah, she should listen to Luna. This is maybe
it's too far.
Yeah, this is too far.
Yeah.
She approaches the pair. She says, "Oh, I'm gonna tell your fortune," and she throws the sticks up in the air, and she like does this. She like catches them, I guess.
I don't know what she's
like,
doing.
Hoo, hoo, hoo. And she says, "If you two kiss right now, your love will come true." And they don't exactly buy it. And Ray basically just yells at Usagi. She knows it's her. And she's like, I'm dating Mamoru. Get out of here. We're not friends anymore.
Right.
And Usagi's like, ooh. Well, back at Usagi's house, she is really depressed about this. Luna tries to cheer Usagi up. She basically says, like, Ray's a hothead. She'll forgive you. Mm-hmm. But Usagi's not so sure.
No.
And maybe Luna's not focused on the problem because she's scarfing down daifuku rice cakes.
I know.
And Usagi's like, how can you eat at a time like this? Well, maybe one rice cake. Yay, these are delicious. Yay,
yes.
let's bring these rice cakes to Ray.
Yes.
See, unsophisticated thought processes.
I know.
This episode.
Yeah.
Luna's like, yeah, but do you think it's too soon to go over there and screw things? I mean, to see her again. And Usagi's like, oh, it'll be fine. La, 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 la.
Yeah.
So it's night, and Yuichiro is doing his best. He's swinging from vines. This is training.
Yeah.
And Ray is pensive, and she is asking her ravens, will her grandpa be okay? Mm-hmm. And I don't know why they would know. If they were Huginn and Muninn, thought in memory, maybe they'd know. But they're Phobos and Deimos, fear and despair. So they're like, he'll die. In the temple, Gramps is praying hard. He's got to get that demon out, get the demons out.
Right.
When Zoisite shows up again, he's going to get that crystal, and he and Gramps start a fight. And there's a lot of Zois. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty one-sided. That crystal is coming out, looks bad for Gramps, but suddenly... You already know what it is. A rose hits the crystal. Justice is coming out of Grandpa, knocking it to the ground. Tuxedo Mask is here. Where does he get all these roses?
That's a good question.
Is it his power to generate roses?
I think maybe, yes.
And how long does it take to sharpen the end of them? That's my gem, he says. But watch out. Grandpa is transforming into GIGI.
Yes.
GIGI
I know.
is... a gorilla, basically. He's just wearing a demon no mask or something like that.
We'll get to it.
And he says, GIGI. And
Yes.
Zoe picks up the crystal and says, have fun with GIGI, Lates.
Yep.
And TM flies after him. And Yuichiro sees GIGI and gets chased by GIGI.
Yes.
And Tuxedo Mask loses Zoisite in the forest. This is like a square block of Tokyo, right? This is like a couple trees next to a shrine.
I guess there is a garden there. They don't really go into that, but maybe that's the forest. I don't know. But they do seem to have a lot of trees.
He loses him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Zoe's like, have fun with a GIGI. And Yuichiro runs and gets Rei, who is changing because she just got out of the bath.
Yes.
And she's like, don't look. And he's like, I saw, but forget about that. There's a monster. Save yourself. Here he is. GIGI. Yeah. GIGI blasts them both with something from his mouth. He goes like, and like, it's like a black canary thing or something like that.
It seems
he
like
shoots
it,
waves out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And Yuichiro says, I'll protect you. And he charges at GIGI, but he is knocked down and presumably out, which is convenient because Rei gives us the eight words or whatever, eight, and she can see that the Yuma is her grandpa. She can see through it.
Yeah, which I thought was cool.
He chases her into the courtyard, and she pleads for him to stop. But there is no grandpa. There is only GIGI. And he produces gigantic claws with which to rake her. But that's when somebody gets a daifuku upside the head because Usagi and Luna arrive.
Yes.
And Usagi says, leave my good friend Rei alone. And she transforms into Sailor Moon. And Rei's like, thanks. And Usagi's like, you're welcome. Have some daifuku. I'm going to bump this up to Dumb Bunny 8, I think. Now, we're really going for it. Usagi is ready to atomize this guy with an MTA, but wait, says Rei. He's Grandpa. Oh, no.
Yeah.
GIGI.
Right?
It's Grandpa. They get chased around the courtyard. Luna says, Rei, use your ghost busting thing, to weaken him. Mm-hmm. The prayer slip thing, and she does.
Yes.
Hits him with the prayer slip. He is weakened. Moon healing escalation. Refresh. And Grandpa is back. And meanwhile, outside the shrine, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Ami meets up with Mako and says, maybe we should talk to Rei about making up with Usagi. And Mako says, good idea. And they head to the shrine and see Gramps, Usagi, Rei, and Yuichiro eating daifuku. And we get an interesting thing here. Both Yuichiro and Gramps are like, hey, isn't there a big monster here before? That thing where everybody always passes out in time to miss everything.
Yeah.
Like poor Lois Lane, she's never going to catch Superman.
Uh-huh.
And Ray's like, up, you hit your head, and you've been training really hard, so maybe you're just imagining things. But you know what? You're very brave and kind. And she gives him a kiss.
Yes.
And he's like, yes, this is youth. I feel the rush of youth. And Usagi teases Rei about being in love with him, and they start fighting again, just as Ami and Mako show up, seeing them chase each other around, and they're like, well, they're fighting, but it's friendly fighting. Mission accomplished. My work here is done. You didn't do anything.
I know, right?
It's low stakes in this one.
Yeah, but it's funny. Except high stakes that it's freaking Grandpa turns into a Yoma.
Yeah.
Your Honor, a courtroom is a crucible. In it we burn away irrelevancies until we are left with a pure product, the truth, for all time.
Oh man,
Now,
this is
sooner
so
or later, this
intense.
man,
Data is on trial
more
for his
than likely
life.
will succeed in
I know.
replicating
This
command
episode, The Measure of a Man, is based on the Supreme Court's Dred Scott decision of 1857.
And every week on Backtracking, we take a look at the real-world events that inspired classic Star Trek episodes. Sorry.
Who are you?
We're the hosts of Backtracking. I'm
You
Caliban.
will both be taken to the brig and from there to the nearest starbase, where you will answer charges for what you have done.
And I'm Gooey Fame.
This is not a game. This is life and death.
You can follow us on Twitter.
Backtracking is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
You go f yourself.
So for Kyoro Miru curiously looking around for this episode, I thought we could talk about Shinto priests in Japan. But before we get into that, I just wanted to mention really quickly that this episode, it appears as though Yuichiro is homeless, as we see him sleeping on the steps of Hikara Shrine.
He's just a rambling guy.
Yeah, I know, right? We previously talked about homelessness in Japan on Kyoro Miru for episode 21, so check that out.
Right.
So moving on to Shinto priests.
What is 50 cents in Japan?
What is 50 cents?
Yeah. You had a room to let 50 cents. Room to let 500 yen.
Well,
Shogun of the road.
500 yen is $5. What is 50 cents?
I guess it'd be 50 yen.
Yeah.
Rooms to let 50 yen. All right. Why did someday they're going to fight a Wall Street guy at some point, right? So maybe we'll talk about money and we'll talk about how the Japanese just total comfort with like, it's just we want a currency that just breaks down very evenly, and so therefore that hamburger will be 10,000 yen.
Right.
Oh no, I only have 9,998. It's just so. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's not like the British system of, 12 of these equal 8 of those equals 1 cow, which also equals...
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about money at some point. I don't know.
Because we talk about ancient currency, too, like Ryu and stuff like that.
Sure.
But it's just like, at some point, they went, all right, screw this.
Well, we're going to make this
A unit is a
easier.
unit, and then they're just all going to build from there.
Right.
And you're like, you could just put like a decimal point in there somewhere, and then we would know, nope.
No, we're going to add a comma.
This car is 500,000 yen.
Yes.
All right, I'll get the wheelbarrow.
I know. So Shinto priests are called kannushi in Japanese, which means proprietor of kami or godmaster.
Whoa.
And it has, it was traditionally pronounced kamunushi, which is closer to kami.
Uh-huh.
This I thought was interesting. Shinto priests are also sometimes called shinshoku, which means God's employee. So that seems so appropriate.
That's
but
so
funny.
It reminds me of, I'm going to screw it up. I don't remember the name, but like the lord of the Japanese underworld is always depicted even before the days of office buildings and stuff, but he's always depicted as a guy sitting at a desk with like a blotter and he's
Sure.
like, because he's an administrator.
Yeah, right.
He's like, what, who are you? Okay, yeah, you're gonna go to this part. Yep. I just think it's like their afterlife is administration.
Right.
Like no wonder they are so have salary men and like all this stuff.
Everything's organized.
It's
I know.
getting ready for the afterlife.
I know.
So God's employee, I like that.
Yeah, right? So kannushi are in charge of the conservation of Shinto shrines and guiding worship of kami. It was common for kannushi to become priests from a line of ancestry followed by particular families up until the Meiji period, which was 1868 to 1912. Although this is not legally accepted anymore, the procedure continues. Kannushi are still able to inherit their placement by applying for and obtaining consent from officials.
Oh, so you can still do it, but they
Yes.
just want to make sure that's above board and you're not just passing it within your family. You can,
but
you have
just
to,
have
like,
to do the legal.
you apply, and your
Right.
application goes to the top of the stack, basically.
Exactly.
And who are the officials? Is this like the It's like the Shinto administration organization.
Yeah. So it's the Jinja Honsho, or Association of Shinto Shrines.
Oh, I was close.
So they basically kind of are the legal arbitrators.
You get your tabs renewed every year.
Right.
Sticking on Buddha's rear end.
Right.
Is that
Exactly.
disrespectful?
Probably.
I apologize.
Probably very disrespectful.
That's the kind of joke that Buddha would have loved.
Wow.
Come on.
So I was thinking maybe the Hinos are such a family, like they've inherited.
Yeah, would
the
she be
Hikara
expected
Shrine.
would Rei be expected to take on her grandfather's duties?
That's a really good question. She could. I don't know if she's expected to or not.
Well,
he kind
if
of
she's approved.
insinuated,
Yeah.
he insinuated that in their conversation. So yeah, it's totally possible. Maybe that's what she's expected to do. But then, like, if that's what she's expected to do, why is she going to school for anything else?
Whoa! Wow,
Is that horrible?
that's
of
a
me to say?
nihilistic approach. Just quit school, Ray.
Wow. Okay.
All you have to know how to do is to hawk little things that people hang from the rearview
I
mirrors.
didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. So traditionally, kannushi were mediators between kami and humans, and they could supposedly communicate a kami's will. Kannushi was a being who was able to perform miracles, a holy person who, because of their exercise of purification rites, was able to serve as a communicator for the kami. In modern Japan, there are 2 universities for those who want to train to be Shinto priests. They are Kokugakuin University in Tokyo and Kogakuen University in Mie Prefecture, which is in the Kansai area of Honshu, the main island of Japan. In order to become a kannushi, one has to pass exams put on by the Association of Shinto Shrines.
Right.
Traditionally, kannushi dress comprises of black lacquered sandals called asagatsu and a tall rounded hat called an iboshi. Hyogi fan is also considered to be part of their ensemble. The outermost clothing item is the ho, or the ikon, and it is typically colored light blue, black, or red. For ceremonial occurrences, a white silk style of the ikon called the saifuku is worn. Styled after the heian hunting clothes is another kannushi robe called the kariginu. And the Heian period was from 794 to 1185. This traditional clothing doesn't have any important religious meaning, but were solely clothes used traditionally by the imperial court.
Oh, okay.
And so that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
And so I tried looking this up, and I found some information. So the different colored hakama are meant, or the pleated pants,
Right,
are meant for different ranks of workers at Shinto shrines. As we covered previously on Ray's first episode 10, the scarlet red are for Miko. Pine green are for trainees who are not kannushi but assist as employees of the shrine.
Mm-hmm.
Light blue are actually for 3rd or 4th rank kannushi who are often young. Purple are for the 2nd rank kannushi. Purple with a purple pattern or crest are for the upper class of 2nd rank kannushi, the managers of shrine operations or directors. And purple with a white pattern or crest are for the 1st rank kannushi. There are only about 250 who can don this design. And a white hakama with a white pattern or crest are for the special rank priests. There are only about 70.
That's the S rank priests.
Right.
They did it in the least amount of time. They took no damage.
So I was trying to find more information about this. There is a specific sect of Shintoism called konkokyo, in which kannushi don the purple hakama or special occasions, only for special occasions.
Mm-hmm.
The rationale being that whether an individual is a new priest, a priestess, a high-ranking priest, they don the same color hakama because people are the same as humans to kami-sama.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't know if I was trying to find more information about this, like why. So Grandpa Hino and Yuichiro have the light blue hakama.
Yeah.
And is that just more traditionally accepted for like everyday use, and the purple is really more for ceremonial? But
they're training hakama.
Right.
Got all that training to do.
Right, exactly. Other items used by kannushi are a baton called a shaku, and we've talked about this previously on Ray's first episode, but a wand adorned with shide or white paper streamers called an onusa or a haraguchi.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of kannushi at a Shinto shrine varies a lot. Some shrines can have over 12, and others have none and are maintained by local lay volunteers.
That's a lot of kannushi.
Yeah, I know, right? The lead kannushi is called guji. Some bigger shrines also have assistant head priests called gonguji. They are commonly referred to as those who practice Shinto as sensei. Traditionally, there were several female kannushi. However, they were mostly forced out of their positions by 1868. During World War II...
Cool.
Yeah, I know, right? During World War II, women were permitted to become Shinto priests again due to the large number of men being recruited by the military.
Well, yeah. That's their... We can do it.
Right?
Women entering the workforce.
Right. Male kannushi still dominate the field today. In 1993, there were about 1,825 female kannushi registered. That number is about 10% of the total number of kannushi. In 2001, the Association of Shinto Shrines approximated that there were less than 25 female priests in Tokyo. A large majority of female priests come from households in which the Shinto priesthood ran in the family.
Okay.
And I did read somewhere, too, that a widow could inherit the priesthood from her late husband.
Sure. Meaning they can marry.
Yes, they can. And we'll get... I have that down here at some point. But one problem for female priests... menstruation is an issue due to Shintoism viewing...
Record scratch wave.
I know. Due to Shintoism viewing menstrual blood as a desecration of holy space. The quote-unquote red uncleanliness, or aka fujo, was cited as a long-established provision on women's involvement in holy space. Contemporarily, menstrual periods in kannushi are managed with the use of medication.
What?
Yes.
So you have to take the gas or whatever if you want to...
That's what I'm thinking. Right. They did not go into details, but that's what I was thinking. And then I was thinking, you're supposed to have your period several times a year. So if you're a kannushi, can you just never have your period? And then that's not healthy for you as a person.
I mean, I'm not an obstetrician, but I think that it isn't necessarily unhealthy.
I guess.
I mean, I'm not... First of all, it's all healthy.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Here's a good solution, Shinto Association. Get over it would be one way to do that. But, yeah, wow. That's unfortunate.
It is. Another impediment for female priests is the patronage structure, in which a senior priest acts as an advisor for a new priest in the course of holy teaching. This patronage structure prohibits male priests from teaching women.
What? So
they have to find an elder female priest
to teach the woman
to be their advisor.
Okay.
Which is really hard because there aren't that many female priests.
I want to do a manga about a young woman who gets out of school. They're like, "What do you want to do?" "I want to be a Shinto priest." Like, "You're crazy. Your parents were, worked in shoes or something like that." But then she has to find it. She's going to claw her way into the system,
right?
And she has to find an older female mentor,
yes.
To give her the training and the juice and everything. And she becomes like a support structure for her. It was tough for me too. And then I don't know, maybe it's like Quantum Leap. People come into the shrine every week, and then we got to solve their problems.
I like this. This is great.
I know.
This is a fantastic idea.
Cut that part out.
Okay. So yes, male kannushi can get married and have kids. I tried to find information.
Oh, female kannushi can't.
I tried finding information about it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So I don't. As far as I would guess that they are able to, but then I was thinking, but if they can't have their period ever, are they able to have kids?
If they were pregnant all the time, problem solved.
There you go. It's some smaller shrines, kannushi only work for special events and have full-time employment somewhere else. Prior.
What? So it can be like a roving kannushi?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
you're
we
like,
brought
I'm a
this guy in
kannushi, but-
special.
Right,
He's
exactly.
a contractor,
But I'm also a salaryman.
not actually an employee.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like the reserve kannushi.
Exactly.
Weekends.
Only
Weekend
weekends.
warriors. Weekend
Yes.
holy warriors.
So prior to some important festivals, kannushis may observe an interval of abstinence from sex. Some kannushi also refrain from other items immediately prior to festivals, including drinking alcohol, coffee, and tea. So,
All right.
yeah.
So it's like Catholic priests.
Yeah.
Or it's like Anglican priests. Because they can marry, right?
Right.
And then, if Fleabag is to be believed, you can get hammered.
Right.
But maybe not before Shrove Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah, maybe not. I thought we could talk just briefly about Hikara Shrine itself, because
Yeah,
we haven't
sure.
really talked about it that much. So Hikara Shrine means Fire River Shrine. All Hikara shrines are spiritual branches to Omiya Hikara Shrine in Saitama City, Saitama Prefecture in the Kento region, which is a part of the greater Tokyo area. There are 3 Hikara shrines in Minato-ku, Tokyo, or the Harbor Ward of Tokyo. They are Azabu, Akasaka, and Shirokone districts. The shrine in the manga is based on the Azabu location.
Wait a minute. Rika went to Azabu School of Anthropology or whatever, didn't she?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a part in the ward. So
What? This is just a huge fanfic for Takeuchi's life. Like it's
I
just
know.
everything like, it's not 2 blocks away.
I know, right? So, but the Azabu location is at the same spot on top of Sendai Hill,
Okay.
and
With the forest.
right, and that's the one that's in the manga. The version of Hikara Shrine that shows up in the Sailor Moon anime is heavily influenced by the Akasaka location, even though it is depicted as being in the Azabu location on top of Sendai Hill. So
A little mix and match.
right, it is on Sendai Hill in the anime, but it looks like the Akasaka location,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The Shirokane location was actually used to shoot some of the Hikara Shrine scenes in the live-action Sailor Moon TV show.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So yeah, it's just some information about Hikara Shrine. So you may want to look at all 3 of those when you go to Japan and you're doing your Sailor Moon tour.
Or just, go on Google Maps.
Well, yes,
Just
that's
see it.
true. Itadakimasu with Usagi. What did Usagi eat in this episode? We got a lot to cover today. Ray's grandpa, sitting in the moonlight, talks about eating tsukimi dumplings and sake. Tsukimi dumplings are tsukimi dango, or moon viewing dumplings. Tsukimi is the mid-autumn festival which pays homage to the autumn moon.
Okay.
Tsukimi dango is made from rice flour and water and sometimes glutinous rice. Once malleable, the mixture is rolled into small spheres and then boiled. Tsukimi dango is white with no added color or flavor. They are typically only for the festival, and they are served in a specialized pyramid presentation consisting of 15 dango to portray the full moon. 2 yellow dango are also made to go on top of the pyramid. These dango get their color from the kabocha squash, which is in its prime in late summer and fall.
Huh. Okay. So
Yes.
just like plain rice.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah. And you can see pictures of this online. It's very Japanese looking in its presentation. And then, of course, Luna declares daifuku rice cakes are delicious. And they are pink and white. And, of course, Usagi loves them, too, and wants to take them to Rei to apologize.
Would a cat eat a rice cake?
I don't think that's probably a good thing for a cat
Yeah.
to eat.
I don't know
I would
how
think
appetizing that would be.
I would think it would get stuck in their throats. It's so sticky.
They'd just be, you've seen a cat like,
Yeah, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it would be.
maybe they would eat it.
Daifuku or daifuku mochi is a Japanese sweet made of a small spherical mochi filled with a sweet stuffing, most often anko, or a sweet red bean paste made from azuki beans. Daifuku is a very well-liked wagashi, or traditional Japanese treat. Daifuku comes in numerous variations. The most common is pale pink, white, and pale green colored, packed with anko. These come in the round form, about 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches in width, as we saw in the anime. Mochi first appeared in the Edo period and was called uzumomochi. In the beginning, daifuku were termed habutai mochi, which translates from the Japanese as belly-thick rice cake, due to the heavy consistency of its filling.
Huh.
The term for the wagashi later altered to daifuku mochi, or big belly rice cake. In Japanese, the way that you say fuku, or belly, is identical to the way you say fuku, or luck.
Right.
The term for mochi was altered more to become daifuku mochi, or great luck rice cake. Dai in Japanese means big, large, or great. Daifuku mochi is a bearer of good luck.
Good luck belly rice cake.
Exactly. There are a large variety of daifuku. Possibly one of the most popular versions is ichigo daifuku. Ichigo means strawberry. This variety typically contains a whole or half strawberry covered in anko filling and then encased in mochi. Typically eaten in the spring, it was created in the 1980s.
Is that with cocaine? Like, why is that significant?
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
I love these. I gotta have more.
My Heart is a Kaleidoscope, where we talk about fashion and Sailor Moon. What the heck are they wearing in this episode? Yuichiro Kumura is wearing a blue jacket, maybe a jean jacket, a light brown button-up shirt, black t-shirt underneath, blue slacks or blue jeans, flip-flops, or possibly barefoot. I swear I saw both.
He's got kind of a Billy Jack thing going on.
Yeah, and he has a brown duffel bag and long hair that is in his eyes, and of course, facial stubble.
Right.
Ray's grandpa is wearing his Shinto priest outfit, the light blue hakama. I tried finding the name of the white kimono. What I found was kosode, or kimono robe, with white tabby socks. They're the socks that have like the little toe indentation.
Yeah.
And the flip-flop like sandals. Later we see him wearing a dark green cape with swirls on it. And then we see Yuichiro's training outfit, which is pretty much exactly the same as Grandpa's, except we see him wearing a dark blue cape with swirls on it.
Right.
And then we got Rei in her Miko outfit with the red hakama, white kosode, white tabby, and the flip-flop like sandals. And then Usagi's pen outfit. Oh boy! Usagi is dressed like a fortune teller. She is wearing a purple underkimono with a black kimono jacket, black round hat, blue tinted sunglasses, tray, and fortune telling 6, or omikuji, which we talked about in Sailor Moon episode 2.
Right.
And a long, thin mustache, which we talked about. I tried finding more information about this, and I couldn't find anything anywhere. I found stuff about omikuji. I tried looking up like Japanese fortune teller. Like, is this like a traditional outfit for them? And like, I mean, when we saw the Japanese fortune teller in episode 2, he was wearing a very similar outfit. So I don't know if it's like a traditional thing, or if it's like, this is what Usagi saw, so this is what her pen turns her into.
Yeah, we don't really know. She just tells the pen to do something, and
right.
then it does something, and so we don't know if it's reading her mind or whatever. She never really gets very descriptive when she says, like, make me a pretty adult rock star.
Right.
You know, she becomes one of the misfits. So, yeah, who knows? I was thinking about, I guess it's a little different, but it made me think of Mononoke, the anime series, which is a great series, and it's really hard to find because of Studio Ghibli's feature film, Princess Mononoke.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if you search for Mononoke series, it's a series about a fortune teller / like medicine man in I think it's the Meiji period, going around and to dealing with ghosts, busting ghosts and stuff like that. And it's got a real Masaki Yuasa sort of new anime kind of feel to it,
right?
But it's a lot of traditional stuff, and it just reminded me of it seems like she could have walked out of that, a character kind of similar to the things that you'd see in that series.
Well, that's true. I'm trying to remember. Is his outfit look very similar to her fortune-telling outfit? I feel like it's like really psychedelically colored.
Yeah, it's psychedelically colored, and he wears a headscarf, instead of the
hat, the
cylindrical hat type thing that she's got. So, but yeah, anyway, I don't know. It just kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that I actually want to watch more of that series. I've started it, but I haven't finished it.
That character actually comes from an earlier series that was an anthology series called We Reached the End of My Knowledge.
Oh, no.
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's sort of a spin-off from a anthology ghost series.
Okay. I actually just got a really cool anime. Wow, I can't. What is my word?
Did you get it?
I got a really cool anime suggestion from a friend.
Oh.
This show is called Origami. Have you heard of it before?
I think so.
And it is about a kami who doesn't have any followers, and he's trying to get followers. So he keeps leaving his card places, and he says he'll do stuff for like a small amount. And
maybe I haven't heard of this.
But it sounds really great. And then it turns out that he was like the god, like way back when, he was the god of chaos. And like, so he created all this horrible stuff, but he wants to change his ways, and he wants to be positive now. So he's trying to get followers and like not be the god of chaos. So,
wow.
Yeah. So
that's a real DC Vertigo type setup, like a character wanders out of Sandman or something like that. Yeah.
But I was like, I would watch that.
I'm trying to be the god of stationery now.
Right, exactly.
Nice things.
Finally, we have Usagi in her street clothes. She's wearing a red long sleeve sweater, black tank top underneath, and yellow slacks. And we get to villain gauge, rate a baddie, 1 to 5 dark stars, 5 being the most wicked. And this episode we have GIGI.
Yeah.
So Ray's grandpa or Grandpa Hino. And when I looked it up, it said that he actually, it looks blue or purple to me. But when I looked it up, it said it was the indigo rainbow crystal.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I was going to say it was like a bluish or almost black kind of. But yeah, okay. Indigo makes sense,
yes.
I guess.
So GG is a dual pun from the slang term that means an elderly man, which is GG, which is derived from Oji-san, which means grandfather.
Yeah.
And shishi, which is the mythical lion creature from China that the komainu, or lion dog, pair of statue figures that appear outside the gate of a Shinto shrine or Buddhist temple.
Okay.
They are thought to keep away evil spirits. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the shishi or komainu. The shishi were most likely brought to Japan from China by way of Korea in the 7th or 8th century AD as part of Buddhism's transference to Japan. The Japanese shishi amalgamates components of both the Chinese kara shishi, or Chinese lion, and the Korean koma inu, or Korean dog. The term koma comes from the Japanese word for the Korean kingdom of Koguryo. So there are 2 statues before the gateway to a Shinto shrine or a Buddhist temple.
Right.
The statue on the left was called shishi, or lion, and looked like a lion with its mouth open. The statue on the right was called komainu, or Korean dog, and looked like a dog with its mouth closed.
Huh.
Over time, both statues became known as komainu, and the only difference was that one had its mouth open and the other had its mouth closed.
Okay.
The open mouth is articulating the initial letter in the Sanskrit alphabet, which is enunciated a. And the closed mouth is articulating the final letter in the Sanskrit alphabet, which is enunciated This constitutes the beginning and end of everything.
Right.
Together, they make the holy sound
Right. Now, this is in Buddhist temples too, isn't it?
Yes.
Because I went to a museum and they had statues of Oni that were similar, and it had
they do have similar statues like
face, but they were like dudes. They were like ripped dudes.
Yeah,
and they
I don't know what they're called off the top of my head.
They were doing that same thing, the open mouth and the closed mouth thing.
Yes, yeah, and that I think it's a similar reasoning there. So yeah, and which is used in Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism.
And Beatles songs.
Yes. GIGI has his mouth open, so it makes sense that he is the shishi figure or the Chinese lion. I'm not sure why they decided to color him. Well, maybe this next little piece. So some believe that the predecessor for the komainu was an imaginary animal.
Oh my god.
Called G.
Oh my god.
Which was a grayish black cow-like creature depicted as having a single horn on its head.
Oh, like a cryptozooid type thing.
Yeah. This creature was also thought to bring good luck. Over the years, the horn decreased in size until it disappeared. And I did check. Hikara Shrine at Akasaka has komainu. And I was wondering, and you can't really tell, when GIGI is strangling Rei, she is pushed up against the base of a statue. We never see the full statue, but it could be a komainu, or maybe it's a stone lantern. I don't know, but that's a possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, and he attacks, like you said, like it seemed like with like sound waves and stuff like that.
Well, maybe he's going om or something like that.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's doing.
He's hitting him with the vibrations of the universe.
Right, but like we've talked about before, I still think he's overall a very cool character design, although he is mostly black. He's got gold bands around his wrists and his ankles. He jumps everywhere, but he kind of like runs with like all of his legs too.
Right.
He's got like this red handkerchief tied around his neck. He's got like this crazy flowing kind of maybe lion-like gray mane.
Yeah.
And his face almost looks like a no mask, and he doesn't have one horn, he has two horns. Mm-hmm. And his eyes look like they're jiggling all over the place, and they're yellow. So interestingly enough, there are some no masks based on komainu. So maybe that's kind of an amalgamation of what they were going for here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think he's overall, knowing all of that, that's a pretty cool character. So I have to give him 4 out of 5 dark stars.
I gotta go 4 too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strong, and it's another one of those where, I mean, we probably get sick of GIGI after a while, but like, we don't get to see everything that he can do, and every time he's got somebody cornered, he's doing something different. So you get the impression that he's got, different powers and different things, maybe based on all this history and background that you've given us, which clearly went into the design. I mean, it's just like a monkey thing that runs around and yells GIGI, and you think, well, it's not a big deal, but but there's a lot baked in there, which I find really interesting. So yeah, I go 4 on that one. Yeah,
definitely. For our new segment, Sabu or Dabu, where we talk about what are the differences between the sub and the dub.
More than you would think.
Yes. So there was a line added in the dub where, for some reason, where Rei said the cape that her grandpa put on was a tablecloth.
Okay, calm down, Fizz.
I don't know why that's necessary.
Yeah.
Also in the dub, the daifuku were called chocolate cakes.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's...
There's no equivalent.
No,
I mean, if
there
you say
isn't.
rice cake, it's something totally different.
Right. The part where GIGI attempted to choke Rei was taken out. Makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
Interesting to note, Yuichiro Kumada in the Deke dub talked with an Australian accent.
What?
In a surfing dude vernacular.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
He's just like, oi, mate. I want to train here.
I don't know why. I don't know why. Why are you in Japan?
Dude.
I know. So, the Cloverway dub, which I looked up, Cloverway did the dub for the 3rd and 4th seasons.
Huh.
Deke did it for the 1st and 2nd.
Okay.
At least like the first way through. I think there have been a couple of different versions of the dubs. In the Cloverway dub, he talked with a slight Northern American accent.
So, what's a slight Northern American accent?
That's what I wanted to know. Like, he just has an English...
Grandpa,
yeah.
I'd like to train here at the shrine. Are you probably not? Are you adept enough to know what he sounds like in Japanese? Does he have a dialect?
Oh, that's a really good question. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Well, yeah, whatever.
And
because you get that
I'll let you
sometimes.
know.
I mean, you lose it in translation, but often like I read a lot of like Masamune Shirow comics. I mean, they do this and everything. I'm just picking on the thing that I know, and it's all translated into English thanks to Torrance Smith. See at the Crossroads, but you apparently. He always writes in the margins, and so in the margins he'll write like, this character had a dialect that was like, oh, this guy's a redneck or something like that.
Sure.
So in the English they'll just go like, hey, what are you doing here? Sort of thing. But it's whatever the equivalent of that is in Japanese.
Right.
Australian Surfer though, I don't know. I don't know how they got there.
I got nothing. So now it's time to rate the episode 1 to 5 roses, 5 being the best. I'm going to give this episode 4 roses. I like that we're going back to Rei and her grandpa and how silly the episode is overall.
4.
Yeah.
Wow. No.
No?
2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, look, hey, Gigi, you're my boy. But
it's okay.
No,
it's okay.
there's not a lot going on here. And I wished for a Rei episode, and I got my wish, or at least I guess I wished that they would not abandon her as a character. But maybe it's proving out here that there's just not a lot to Rei, and there's not a lot we can do with her. This is fun and all, and I did like, I guess, like I said before, the other side of last episode where we just attack right away, but then that just gives way to a lot of faffing about until it's time to take on GIGI.
There's a lot of GIGI just running around,
and it's pretty conventional in that sense. And then we've got a thing about friendship, which is all well and good. That's a common theme in the show, but not anything really comes out of this because you don't really. And I think they wrote themselves into a corner because you don't want Rei and Usagi to be good friends. That's you like the tension there.
Well,
so they set up that some line has been crossed and that something has been broken that maybe can't be fixed. But not, and we don't really worry about it. And then also the other sailors are like, maybe we shouldn't have just like split when like our best friends were fighting. But then they don't really fix that at all. And they're like, I guess things took care of themselves. So lesson not learned. So no.
All right.
And it's a 2. And both of those points are GIGI.
Aww. My English title is Monster in the Relation.
Monster in the Relation. Okay. What? Grandpa didn't do anything wrong. Grandpa was attacked.
He didn't do anything.
By demons, which, by the way, and I brought this up earlier, we've got like human religion, and that's fine. You can believe in it. You can be spiritual, and that's all well and good. But we confirm that Shinto is the way in this world. Like their powers are real powers and they do real things.
That's true.
And so my question is, where are all the kami when the Dark Kingdom is trying to take over Earth?
It's a really
save
good
us.
question.
Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah.
and their powers now we know are compatible with Dark Kingdom powers because they square off. You know, we have a little square off between Zoisite and Gramps. Although Gramps is, you know, he's devout, but he does not have the power of a Zoisite.
That's true.
It's in the epaulets. So I thought that was all real interesting, but I think that Grandpa's Folly is, come on, that's an attack.
Yeah,
that's a personal
right.
attack. I had a lot of trouble with this one.
Oh, it's okay.
So I'm going to kind of brute force it, and maybe you can vote for your favorite.
Okay.
And we got to get Blue Bloods Blues out of the way. That's for sure.
Whoa.
And then I thought, like, oh, it's GIGI, so I'm glad I'm not Yoma anymore.
What?
It's a song from the
From
musical.
GIGI?
Then there's Hakama Blues.
Oh my god.
Assisted Dying.
Whoa.
And Kami Chameleon.
You came up with quite a bit.
Probably that last one.
I think I like the last
What
one
about the
too.
last one? Right. Kami Chameleon.
Yes.
That's one.
That's impressive. You know, even though you struggled with it, you had quite a few options.
Yeah, when
there.
in doubt, just take out the whole village, you know. just bomb the whole thing. So.
And you have an English title, and you have an English title.
Everybody gets an English title.
Next episode, we're talking about episode number 31. Koisarete orate Luna no Sayaku no Hi in Japanese. Love and Chase, Luna's Worst Day Ever, the English translation, and the English title, Kitty Chaos. That's it, everybody!
This is wrap it up, shut it down. We did it. I want to point out, this is now uncanny. Like, I need to get checked for Shinto powers myself. I predicted the Luna episode.
You did!
I said, we gotta have a Luna episode?
Uh-huh.
31.
Yes.
Kitty Chaos.
Yes.
So I don't even know what's going to happen. And if there's anything to explore there, but I guess we're gonna.
Well, I'd love to get your predictions next episode on, like, what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's our show for this week, and the Name of the Moon will be punishing you next week with another episode of Sailor Noob.
GG!